How's it going, Heights Church? My name is Bronson Aalgaard. I'm the JHM pastor here at the church. And today we're going to be talking about how I found hope in a time of like now, in a pandemic. All these different things are going on. So I want to just start by saying this. When it comes to enduring or living through times like these, is when I believe we're truly tested to the highest capacity of how much faith we actually have in God. And there's a verse in Jeremiah, and it's in 29, verse 11, and a lot of you already know it. I'm going to read it real quick. So if you have your Bibles, open it up, because if it's not already highlighted or underlined and all of those things, you're going to want to do it today. And here's what it says, Jeremiah 29:11. For I know the plans I have for you, declares the Lord. Plans to prosper you and not to harm you, and plans to give you a hope and a future. Now, a few years back, while I was pastoring, walking on what I believe God has for me in this life, the motor on my car blew up. And it was going to be like $3,000 to fix it. And at this time, I was living at home, and I would try to save up this large amount of cash. And for some reason, it felt like another bill came up. Some random thing that I had to pay for, like car registration. Could you imagine having to pay for car registration on a car that's not even running and you're still trying to pay off? It was so frustrating. But during this time, I was getting so frustrated and losing hope. And yes, these thoughts actually were happening. While I was pastoring junior high students, I'm still a human and I still struggled with it. And I would just remember this passage. He knows the plans he has for me, to prosper me and to give me hope. But during this time, it didn't really feel like that. But my faith was put to the point where I had to believe it. You know, an amazing thing happened. Someone actually from the church reached out and said, we have a spare car and we would love to give it to you during this time. Because they knew I was either walking or riding my bike or getting a ride to the church every single day. And let me note, it was the middle of the summer when this happened. And they offered me a spare car. God had worked through them and offered me and gave me a vehicle as a gift, because he knows the plans of hope and to prosper me. I had faith and trusted that God was going to provide whatever I needed for those times. The story gets even better. At one point during the summer, I also was trying to move out. And I was saying, God, listen, if this is what you have planned, you'll provide a miraculous way. And just like that, a group of friends invited me to move out to their house. Now, I had to pray about this. I had to get over the fact, right now, I need to fix my car because it's going to be $3,000. But God continuously spoke to me and had me at peace when it came to the thought of moving out. So I did it. It's crazy. But then, out of nowhere, I was still saving money. And somebody came along and said, God told me that I was supposed to write you a check for whatever your need is. And let me note, I was not out there telling people that my car was broken down, that I didn't have my main source of transportation. I was just living life. And a friend of mine said, God told me in a dream to cut you a check for whatever you need right now. I broke down in tears. In fact, at first I was like, I really need to pray about this, because I had a deep issue of receiving gifts and receiving blessings. And through a lot of counsel from pastors, or people that I call my pastors, they said, Bronson, this is someone who God has spoken to bless you. Are you going to deny this man a blessing that he's trying to give you that God had actually led him to? Here's to sum up all of this. In the beginning of that summer, I was living at home as a 22-year-old, feeling frustrated with that. Now I had no car, feeling frustrated with that. And God not only provided me a source of transportation for the intermediate, but then he also provided in a miraculous way a way for my car to get fixed that I could never drum up in my wildest imagination. Guys, I'm not saying that this exact same thing will happen in your life, but But I believe the more we stay faithful with God, the more hope we find within Jesus, and the more we can rely on this passage, believing that He has plans for us that are greater than we could ever imagine, the better our faith will grow, the more our faith will grow. I hope this has been an incredible encouragement to you. It's one of my favorite stories to talk about, because when I was young, when I hear stories like this, or heard stories like this, I would have never believed them. But it's crazy how God actually can work in your life. I hope you have an incredible day, and we'll catch you later.